Well, good morning and welcome to the slightly delayed version of Grow Omaha. I'm Jeff Beals, your co-host, and we are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. Delayed for storm coverage this morning, but hopefully everyone weathered the storm just fine and are ready to resume normal Saturday activities. Well, let's bring on my co-host, a man we like to call the legendary commercial real estate deal maker, Trenton Magid from NAI NP Dodge.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're safe out there. Jeff, you came in like a wet dog.
All right. Well, Trenton, I did because I was, as some listeners know, I prepare for the show while having a leisurely breakfast. And I do this every Saturday and I mix it up. Like I go to all these different breakfast places. Today was Primo's near 60th and Center. And when I decided to vacate Primo's to come to the studio, it was right at peak wind and precipitation. My socks are soaked to the ankle.
So you're preparing, and I had to get up early today.
And at any rate, we don't have much time to waste, so we're going to go straight into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. Holly Schneiderwin and her team do a great job of helping you get your piece of the American dream. It is the summer home buying season right now. If you're thinking about buying a new house, one of the first things you want to do is talk with Holly Schneiderwin and one of her mortgage brokers over there at Eagle Mortgage. They'll sit down with you, figure out what is unique about your situation, and then match you up with the best lender possible. That's Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. Well, a couple news items. First of all, for those people who like to go to amusement parks, you'll be happy to know that Fun-Plex's Mammoth roller coaster has opened to the public. Yesterday was the first day. It's located near 70th and Q. Mammoth is 2,000 feet long, rises 70 feet in the air, and not that it has a lot to compare itself to, but it is the biggest roller coaster ever in Nebraska.
That's the first time I've heard you say 72nd and Q without saying dude at the end.
When we were kids, remember the radio commercials? 70th and Q, dude.
It was a cart. Was it called cart?
I think it was Fun-Plex with them. Did it have a different name?
Yeah, but karting. It was Fun-Plex, but it was
with go-karts?
Yeah.
UNMC's Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center last week received a state-of-the-art proton beam therapy system. And before you're sitting there thinking, I can't handle words like that,
Yeah.
Don't worry.
They bought my old one.
It's very cool. No, they didn't, because this is the first one in Nebraska. It's a 17-ton device transported from Boston, and very importantly, it'll allow Nebraska Medicine to deliver specialized cancer treatments first in the region, as there are no versions of this machine in Colorado, Iowa, Wyoming, or the Dakotas. And so good on UNMC and Nebraska Medicine for continuing to be on the cutting edge. City of Omaha held a groundbreaking program earlier this week, officially kicking off construction of a new baseball and softball field complex at Gallagher Park near 52nd and Northwest Radial Highway near Benson High School. And then, Trenton, have you been downtown since Mutual of Omaha installed the logo and the name Mutual of Omaha on top of the tower?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is really cool. I was at the College World Series yesterday. Looks great. The building from the exterior is getting really close to being done. Still have about a half a year worth of interior work. But when you're at Charles Schwab Field, the Mutual of Omaha sign, very prevalent, looks really good, hovering above right field.
Very timely.
Well, they said in a press release that they were deliberately shooting to have that installed and done for the series. And even though the building's still under construction, the sign does light up at night. So it's pretty cool looking. Well, the Omaha City Council approved a resolution this week to reimburse new style development, $4.3 million for development costs related to a project at 8th and Douglas Street. You'll recall, and we reported this at the time, there was a plan to move the Children's Museum to 8th and Douglas, and directly east of it, build a 17-story building that New Style would own and develop that would be nice apartments. Also the plan was to put a city-owned parking garage there. Well, the Children's Museum, at least for now, decided to pull out of that project. And so New Style's like, I don't know if we want to build that apartment building right now. So, but it invested a lot of development costs, and so the city reimbursed those. The good thing is that if the Children's Museum wants to come back there, or if New Style wants to build there, or if some other developer wants to build there, it is shovel ready now and presumably could get started fairly quickly.
But I think didn't they spend a lot of money on infrastructure too, so they're probably ahead of the game if they start that project up again.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that whole area has got so much activity. There's going to be a streetcar stop right there. So I would presume that the odds are extremely high that something will build on that site when at least when the streetcar opens and they don't have to deal with any of that construction anymore.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium has reopened its Stingray Beach attraction following a year of enhancements to the infrastructure, animal care protocols, and habitat design. Stingray Beach allows visitors to interact with the animals. In other words, if you're supervised, you can stick your hand there in the water.
You can get a little cup of food.
I've never done it.
Buy it.
Have you?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
You just go in there by yourself, or do you have some people?
They're with friends.
Okay, that's good. Because I'd be a little worried if I happen to walk by someday and you're leaning over the concrete wall with your hand dangling in the water by yourself.
I love stingrays.
At any rate, it's fixed, it's open, and people are excited, and it looks pretty good. Okay, the Omaha Public Library announced it will upgrade the city garden just outside the brand new Central Library at 72nd and Dodge Street. That means the outdoor courtyard of the new library will be closed for approximately 3 weeks, so construction crews can make improvements. You might ask, didn't they just build this thing? Why are they doing that?
It's a remodel.
Apparently, after it's been open for a few weeks now, they've kind of looked at the way people were using the space. Sometimes it's one thing to plan a space, and it's a different thing when you see how occupants of buildings actually use it.
Sure.
So because of that, they're going to tinker with it a little bit, make it a little bit better. But don't worry, the rest of the new Central Library does still remain fully open. The main entrance doors will be accessible during normal hours, so not a big deal here, and you can continue to go have a good time at the zoo. And then we also want to throw something that's a little kind of fun at you here before we take a little break for the news. And that is Omaha got an interesting ranking. The city is 142nd among the nation's 182 largest cities for household credit card debt. So we don't want to be very high on that list.
Not at all.
No, we don't want to be high on that list. So we're 142 out of 182, so it's good to be low. We don't want our people in too much debt, but Omaha's average credit card debt is just under 12,000 people per household.
Oh, okay.
11,978. Now, the cities with the highest credit card debt.
Wait, $12,000 per household, you said?
Yeah, what'd I say?
Per people or something.
Oh, $12,000 per household, and that would be exactly $11,978 per household, if we're being specific. All right, the cities with the highest credit card debt are Santa Clarita, California, Chula Vista, California, and Pearl City, Hawaii. The lowest debts...
How big are their debts?
I'd have to look that up.
Okay.
The lowest debts are found in Lewiston, Maine, Madison, Wisconsin, and not too terribly far away in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Interesting.
Well, let's do a little bit of a break so we can work in some of our sponsor spots. And when we come back, we'll have our Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week and a few other things to share with you. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Did you?
Bill, I might work in 2 breaks just to get some of these commercials in so we don't have, I know it'll tick off a lot of listeners, but we got customers. We got customers that we have contracts with.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, we'll do what we can.
Yeah.
Right now, we're still off the air, but they say keep going. We might get back on. I don't know.
Oh, so no one's hearing this?
Right now, supposedly not.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. I do what I can.
Uncut just became very vital. Look at me over here.
That's classic.
When you were talking about the
I wouldn't have tried so hard.
the city was fixing a garden or something like that, where was that at?
The public libraries. So I said that. I know I said that.
Yeah, but then at the end you said the rest of the zoo is open.
What's the matter?
It was like
12:30, something like that.
forget he's on a roll.
I don't know if that was a.
What is the matter with me? I think the weather's got me rattled.
Seriously, I was like, wait, I can swear he's talking about the library, but then he goes, yep, the rest of the zoo's open.
All right, I gotta focus, guys. Oh, jeez. Apparently I can't broadcast with wet feet.
How you doing? Oh, 10:30.
I think it's the wet feet.
That'll do it to you.
I got wet toes.
That'll do it to you. There's something psychological.
Just wait till
about
crotch
wet
rot
socks.
comes in.
Two?
Crotch rot, like you're wet,
Ooh.
sweaty.
The water was ankle high. It wasn't waist high. Yeah, we're fine.
He got crotch rot.
Doing the best I can, guys. Sorry.
Bill, I
didn't
need
say
you to try harder.
You were made for days like this, Bill.
You know what you need to do after this? You need to reward yourself and go see He-Man. Master of the Universe.
He-Man,
Here we go.
I read a review about it.
Yeah. Pretty glowing one.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals here, sitting next to Trenton Magid. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center along with Cheer Athletics. Dingman's Collision Center has 5 metro area locations, doing a ribbon cutting here pretty quick for the brand new Gretna location. But the big thing to know is, regardless of the location you choose, they will do a great job of bringing your car, making it back like it's new. All right, we are here in the studio with a delayed version of Grow Omaha. Got a bit of a late start because of weather issues that are happening. We do want to go into our Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight of the week, which is brought to you, of course, by Noddle Companies. They are just an outstanding developer that not only builds beautiful buildings and special places, they're also very community focused. We really appreciate how Noddle Company is playing such a big role in what happens in Omaha and being so supportive of organizations around here. Well, during this segment, we like to talk about things happening in, around, near one of Noddle Company's many developments. And today we go out to beautiful Gretna, Nebraska, and that is where Nebraska Medicine and Noddle Companies held a beam signing program yesterday. And this marked the installation of the final piece of structural steel of the Gretna Landing Health Center. It's a 125,000 square foot medical office building, clinical building. It's located northwest of 192nd and Highway 370, and it will open to patients in the second half of 2027. The center is part of a 31-acre mixed-use project that will also include retail, restaurant, service, and residential uses. It's part of an even bigger area referred to as Gretna Landing, and it's part of an even bigger area that's going to have several other developments, including a whole bunch of retail on the south side of 370.
Gretna.
And it's part of a city called Gretna. But anyway, Trenton, that whole area is just really exploding. There's so much activity around there.
I mean, I've got 7 lots for sale on the northeast corner of just down the road, 180th and Highway 370, called Tiburon Ridge. And we've got daycares there. We've got housing and really great lots if anybody needs it. But that whole 370 corridor is just crazy. Even going to 144th, the Steel Ridge development. I'm doing projects over there. Everybody wants to be on Highway 370 these days, and it's like the West Dodge of Sarpy County.
Well, and the city of Gretna is working with the state of Nebraska Department of Transportation to accelerate the construction timeline of the 192nd and Interstate 84 freeway interchange, which is about 1.5 to 2 miles south of the 192nd and Highway 370 area. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that rapidly growing area just explodes with development when that freeway interchange opens in a couple of years.
Yeah, and kudos to the mayor of Gretna, Mike Evans. He and a team came up with a plan to accelerate that, work with the state, work with probably the county and the city to figure out how to fund that thing and really advance it by 3 or 4 years, probably 3 years to get that thing open, and that'll do wonders. And, now we just got to work on sewer and getting site sewer so the south side of Sarpy County can really explode.
Well, yeah, and then you think about that's not terribly far from the Good Life District, and we haven't heard anything about that for some time, but it's our understanding that there's still a lot of work being done behind the scenes in the Good Life District. So that Good Life District that is kind of centered on and surrounds the Nebraska Crossing retail development, that is in addition to all of this explosive growth at 192nd and Highway 370 in Gretna. And that is your Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight for this week. We thank Noddle Companies for being a key sponsor, and you can find out more about them by going to noddlecompanies.com. Well, we want to now shift our focus to downtown Omaha, and we're going to talk about a renovation project. We've reported in the past that New Style Development plans to convert the former FNBO main bank building into 294 market rate apartments. Good news, that project is definitely underway and moving along. And you can see if you drive by a lot of construction activity because they're getting ready to really renovate that. But that building, a very cool building, it was built in 1971. That means it is old enough to be an historic renovation project, Trenton.
Wow.
You only have to be 50 years to qualify as a historic building, which means that you and I are both historic buildings.
Yes, prehistoric. I think this is a great project. No better person than Todd and Mary Heastan to champion this. They've done so many of the buildings. They did the securities, I think the securities building right across the street way back when. The Old Market Lofts and countless others, it seems like. And this will be neat because they're talking about doing some micro penthouses. And what floor is the press club on?
It's on the 22nd floor, which is the top floor.
And that's staying.
Yes.
Which is great. And if I had a place there, I'd have a pneumatic tube to get my drinks and food from the 22nd floor.
I could see why you would say that, but I think I would still walk to the press club to get it because...
well, unless you want to shake it and not stir it.
That's true, because it might spill my cocktail a little bit or...
send your thermos back.
Make the beer too fizzy a little bit. So I think I would still walk up there and get it.
That'll be fun to watch. It's a great adaptive reuse and take up some office space that wasn't needed.
At 295 feet, that building to which we are referring is the 6th tallest building in Omaha, behind Mutual Tower, First National Tower, Woodman Life Tower, Elmwood Tower, a lot of towers, Elmwood Tower, and the Union Pacific Center. And because it's an historic building, the elevator lobby's pedestrian passageway and the old 2-story banking space will be retained. So if you live there in an apartment, you would have some cool early 70s looking stuff for probably what I assume is probably going to be the common area.
Is you don't think the bank's out?
Bank's out, yeah, okay. Yeah. And the retail branch is over in the parking garage part of the bank there. So, all right, we're going to go straight into the lightning round, and because we're on an abbreviated version of the show here today,
I'll have you both know we're back on the air.
Hey, we're back on the air. So we're not just talking to
Bill
people.
Dixon, producer extraordinaire.
On the video camera. We are
KFAB Nation, we apologize. We had some technical difficulties, but we are now live back on the air.
All right. Well, thank you, Bill. And for those of you just joining us, you are going to get the last, about 5 minutes or so of the Grow Omaha show. But we appreciate you being patient with us today and knowing that things are getting back together. So we were talking about New Style's redevelopment of the old FNBO main bank building, the 22-story building at 16th and Dodge, right by the Doubletree Hotel. But keeping with the FNBO news theme, First National of Nebraska, which is the parent company of FNBO, all based here in Omaha, has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Blue Ridge Bank and Trust Company of Independence, Missouri. So the acquisition is pending regulatory approval, which is normal. That's anticipated before the end of the year. Blue Ridge Bank has 8 branches and approximately $850 million in assets. This follows FNBO's acquisition of Country Club Bank last year in Kansas City, which had 20 branches in the KC metro area. So after getting the second KC bank, get a load of this, Trenton, FNBO will become number 5 in deposit market share in the Kansas City market.
Wow, that's impressive. I think whoever is in the sign business and that does work for FNBO is loving it.
Well, yeah.
Assuming they change the names of the banks.
Yeah, and I suspect they eventually will.
I think all banks should be required just to have digital signs, like LED signs, so they don't have to all these signs go to the dumpster.
Well, let's get on that note hot and heavy into the lightning round material that we have for everyone today. And we start with the Yard House, which apparently is coming to Omaha.
It's a great place.
Have you been to Yard House?
Yeah, in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of them. I know one of them was in Las Vegas, inside one of the casinos.
It's on that strip with the quad or whatever they call it, kind of by.
I know I've been. I know I've been to one.
Caesar's properties. We have that walk, and then it's the walk that leads to the big Ferris wheel.
Oh, okay. That's where it is. Okay. Yeah, I know. And I've been to a couple of them. That's good. It's a good product. And a lot of people in Omaha have been clamoring for it, if you will. So it appears that they are going to go to the Avenue 1 district, which is southeast of 192nd and West Dodge Road. This has not been formally announced. We just have a building permit that was dated June 3rd. And according to that City of Omaha building permit, it looks like Yard House will be constructing a freestanding building that would be located, the actual address, 19051 Davenport Street. So that's southeast of 192nd and Dodge. It would include an outdoor patio. Now, here's a little bit about Yard House. It was founded in California in 1996. It has about 100 restaurants nationwide, and the closest existing ones are in Kansas City. So we'll see how that goes. And Trenton, that whole Avenue 1 area where we believe this Yard House is going is really landing some pretty impressive brands.
Unique brands and a lot of freestanding buildings. So I really want to see how it plays out and how walkable it is, because you would think, because part of Avenue 1 is west of 192nd Street.
Yeah, and so that's true. So at Avenue 1, you're getting, in addition to Yard House, Perry's Prime Steakhouse out of Texas. LL Bean will have its first store in the area, which will be very popular, not to mention a second Trader Joe's in Omaha. And then you got West Elm and Our House, which are 2 new brands to the Omaha market that people have wanted for a long time. Existing brands are going there as well with Williams-Sonoma and Pottery Barn. We're hearing about a lot of other potential retailers that will go out there that we've not yet been able to confirm. And so that area is really exploding. Meanwhile, you have a lot of momentum in Heartwood Preserve, particularly a little part of Heartwood Preserve called the Row that's just really starting to come online right now. So if you look at that West Dodge corridor, you already have Village Point, which is the dominant retail center in the state of Nebraska. You're going to have Avenue 1, which will frankly have a lot of stuff that's newer, and a lot of upscale stuff vis-a-vis Village Point. And then you have who knows what coming to the Row, because there's so much potential there, including a very nice upscale hotel that we reported a week ago. It'll be very interesting to see how that dynamic plays out on the West Dodge corridor, and it'll see how each one of those 3 commercial nodes compete with one another.
And then you got Regency Court.
Yeah.
You got One Pacific Place. A lot of these have changed hands over the years. One Village Point changed hands.
New owner.
Shadow Lake Town Center changed hands. And so it's neat. I mean, the nice thing about when you get something, you're the new owner, you want it to stand out, and they work hard to find new entrants.
Yeah, and Village Point, to their credit, even though they've been around for well over 20 years now, they're working hard on bringing new concepts. They've really changed over a lot of the restaurants, and we keep hearing about other potential things that could be coming to Village Point. So they're doing a good job of staying competitive.
If they would have done housing there, they would have gone vertical and put housing on top of those stores and everything, it would have been a game changer. Easy for us to say, hindsight, whatever. It's an expensive way to do it, but it would be pretty cool to see what it'd be like today.
It would have been cool, and it would have been a pretty popular place for people to live. Maharaja Indian Cuisine has opened its second location at 8419 South 73rd Plaza in Papillion. That's southeast of 72nd.
They're doing great business.
That's southeast of 72nd and Giles.
I talked to the owners, Buvana, a friend of mine. I did that deal, and it was an old sushi place, and she said that they're full. I mean, you can still get in there, and a lot of takeout as well, but it really complements their location at 114th and Dodge, and so I'm really happy for Maharaja.
Okay, and so finally, Borsheims has begun construction of its major renovation at Regency. Going to have a totally different look. 20,000-foot store is going to look pretty spectacular. So, Bill, I understand. Are we pretty much done?
Well, that should be plain, but for whatever reason, it's not. But yes, we are almost done.
All right. So, folks, bear with us today. We've been dealing with some technical issues, but we are done with the show right now. We want to thank you for joining us in this abbreviated version of Grow Omaha. I'm Jeff Beals.
I'm Trenton Magid, and that was Mother Nature.
We were dealing with Mother Nature. Hope everyone has a great weekend. We've been brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center along with Cheer Athletics, and we'll talk with you next week, hopefully at 9 a.m. right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.